Going live, going live. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Yay!
Hi there everyone, welcome to the Monday Club. Yes, of course, it's 7 o'clock UK time on Monday night, and that can only mean one thing. That is the Monday Club, where everybody is welcome. And I'd just like to say, first and foremost, an amazing extra special thank you to George Botterini, who is very, very generously, before we've even started, donated $10 on the super chat and says, hope you both are in good health today and the loft is cool and looking forward to stream, and this is for the train fund. Well, thank you ever so much for that. Sorry, there's when you run a model railway, you have an attuned ear to the sound of things derailing and bumping along the sleepers, and I thought I heard that, but no.
You have a tuned fish.
Tuned fish, yes.
Yes, the tuna fish.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
Why do people call it tuna fish? I mean, we don't call it ham meat or like beef cow.
I call it tuna. I don't know where you got the fish from. Well, I know it's a fish. Anywho, meanwhile, back at the ranch, big hello to Flymo Chairman 1, Robin Slower, Dominic Z, J. Paul Anderson, Adi Pullen, Richard Swiderski, McBenman 1, great to see you, long time no see. Same for 57305 Northern Princess, Heidi Hi, Hody Ho, Ruben Ashwell, and we've got Valleys 56XX. Josh's Railway Adventures, Hemel Down Model Railway, DL Warren, CSX Rensville, Patrick Ling, Ben Davis, Matt Ovell, Vobert Becking, David J, Gone Loco, Hayden Warape, Tim's Model Railway and different videos, Alex Dent, Warbler Productions says beef is modified French for cow.
It is.
The rosbeef. Rosbeef.
The
Rosbeef. Rosbeef.
Because, of course, it's from the Norman Conquest.
Yeah.
And remember, before the Battle of Hastings in 1066, the English did not know the meaning of the word surrender.
What? Because
that's
French
a
word.
French word.
No, and the thing is, the thing about English is that English is very good at going, ooh, I like your language. I see what you've done there. We'll have that word and that word, and we'll make a complete hash of this word, but we'll use it anyway. And that's just how English works. And there's more words in the English language than in any other on earth. And
that's because all of the words from other languages are in English. We just
exactly, and that's also the explanation of why lawyers charge you so much to send a letter. So let's have a look what's going on. Mark Wilson says, evening, Middox. Malcolm Moore, hi to you. Iron Horse Railways, a distinct sense of locomotives misbehaving, jumping the rails and whatnot. Oh, definitely. Gordon McIlroy, hi to you. Yeah. Flymo Chairman 1 says, all right there. Very much. David Collins says, evening, Jen and the Cupboard Monkey from sunny Germany, modelling Eleanor Linton. No, I don't know what Eleanor is, but welcome along. It's always great to see people from around the world. We have lots and lots of... What's wrong?
We've got a question here from Hayden Warape, who says, just a quick question, Jenny. What was it like in the Great Model Railway Challenge?
Stressful
at times.
times.
About that for a while.
Yeah, it was stressful at times, but all television is at various times. It was great fun. Don't get me wrong. I actually enjoyed the qualifying round, as it were, the first round, far more than any of the other rounds, because the first round our build hooked up. We were done and dusted. With pretty much a day to spare, which basically meant that it was the least stressful build of them all, and that's the War of the Worlds layout. Increasingly after that, it got more and more stressful, and the reason for that, I've explained it time and time again on this channel, is that we had a little bit of an ego on a stick in the team. We didn't realise he was like that when we started. And he just made life a misery, not just for us, but for the other teams and the production crew as well. But yeah, It's always
I
a
told
little.
you I would jump in if you needed me, but you were like, no.
It wasn't my call, it was the TV companies. But there we go. Right, anyway. Clive Cobalt says, hi Jenny and Zoe from Northern Ireland. A big hello to you. Madenstein Railways. You might have heard that the tuna fish is also known as the tunny fish. No, I hadn't, but...
what I was surprised at is how big a tuna is.
It's huge,
They're
yes. Your little
enormous.
tin of tuna is only a small part of it.
Yeah, those fish are enormous.
Yeah, the fish that keep on giving. David Collins says, oops, L&Y, Lancashire in Yorkshire. As quite a few people have spotted the TARDIS. Ham Shackleton, Richard Swiderski as well, let's see there.
It's already moved.
Has it already moved? Gosh, that shows how far behind I am. J. Paul Anderson says, received my copy of the March edition of Roman Modeler the other day, specifically for the feature on Weir Yard. It shows off well in the pages of our engine. Oh, thank you ever so much. And it's actually, it's moved on a bit since then. And that's the thing about a model railway. A model railway is never truly finished. And we all know that. Because, you know, it's true, isn't it? You're always constantly tinkering, changing. And actually, I was watching Ken Patterson's video. He did that colossal layout tour. And he was talking about swapping out sections of his layout as he gets bored with them. Which I actually thought was a great idea. Because I think every modeler reaches a point where they think, oh, I'd love to have X, Y, and Z. But I've got no room for it.
Wasn't that kind of part of what you were thinking with the original model railway that you were planning? Modular. You can take bits
yeah,
in
I
and
mean,
out.
that was like going way, way back. Yeah, DL Warren says it's on the freight train in the background.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, all right. Dominic Z says, Jenny, I have the Yamaha RC Kickline Kickmobile from 1999. Dominic Z, of course, is our Kickline correspondent, keeping us in the loop with all things Kickline. So thank you very much for that.
I've got to look it up and find out what it is.
Messing about with models has got to say I enjoyed Zoe's build of that Loco kit.
Oh, thank you very
So
much.
a lot of people like the Monkey See, Monkey Build feature. So we do have quite a few more of those coming up. Rachel Houston, a big hello to you. Southern Train Girl as well. Melchester Model Railway. Paul Blanchard says, he says, what's the difference between a fish and a piano? To which the answer is, you can tune a piano, but you can tune a fish. You can... John PW22 says, hi Jen, can't stay for long. Hope the cupboard monkey is firing on all cylinders again. Can't do without her.
7 out of 8.
Yeah, the cupboard monkey is a sickly child. You were the snot-nosed kid at school, weren't you? You
Yes,
were always
I
the one
was.
with the snotty nose and feeling slightly under the weather going, oh, I need to go and see the school nurse.
We didn't have a school nurse.
Did you not? Oh,
No.
I went to a posh school. We had a school nurse. The school nurse at the school that I went to was very good at telling you to get lost and stop making it up. Jay Watts, hi to you. Madenstein Railway says the fish has a fin while the piano has strings. Yeah, that's the trouble when you try and tell a clever joke. Lots and lots of people who are a bit more smart-arsey than you come in and go, oh, actually. Bang got your junction call Brown. Hi to you. The Fantasy Trains. Hello, ladies, and all in the chat. John PW22 says, I hear a voice. That voice would be the cupboard monkey. Tim's Model Railway and different videos. I'm a Viking because my last name is from Norway. Well, actually, my last name is Kirk, and that is a great Viking name. It's also a Scottish name, but it comes from the
you're
Vikings.
Jenny Church, basically.
Yeah, that's actually what Kirk is.
Yeah.
So,
And funny enough, though, it comes from the Latin via Norway. And it's
how did
from...
they get hold of it?
The Romans traded with the Norse.
Did they?
Yes, they knew all about the Norse. One of the funniest things is the earliest reference we actually have to the Norse pantheon with Odin and all of that is the Romans said, well, up in the north they seem to worship Mercury and people like this because the Romans equated their gods with any gods that they found. So that's how we know.
East Eel, hello to you. Clive Cobold, great to see you. Dominic Z says, Jenny, do you know that there is a rare Kenner Kickline figure of Candy that has light up eyes? I didn't, but I am sure. Actually, I'm sure there's quite a few really rare things. I know in any form of collecting, and certainly going from my own experience collecting trains, there's always certain items that become incredibly valuable and rare and collectible, and then other stuff that's just two a penny. It's just how a lot of these things are, and I think it's part of the thing that makes collecting anything so much more interesting. Melchester Model Railway says Jenny has a Kirk on her layout. Actually, do we? Do we have a church anywhere?
Yes, there.
Oh, yes! Can't see it for looking. The old tin chapel. It's not quite in shot. Here. You'll have to move the camera to show it. But
okay.
There we are.
There it is.
Just underneath the. You've made us go all at an
you'll
angle.
have to swap the angles then.
Oh, no, you can't take you anywhere unless you take you back to apologise afterwards.
So yes, the word Kirk comes from the Latin for circle, circus. It's also where we get the name circus.
Or circuit, or centre, or circumspect, or circumference, or
Caecilius est
as in horto. No, it's Caecilius est in horto. Caecilius in horto circumspectat. Well, surely it would be circumspect. Yeah,
but
because
everyone
it's hard.
says circum.
Yeah, because the trouble is when you know English, you always equate certain things.
Yeah, we didn't even have the letter C in Latin until medieval period.
Oh, that's lovely. Matty Matman, big hello to you, says, I'm cleaning Triang steel track for fun. Okay,
what do you do for a punishment?
Yeah. Bang got you junction. Carl Brown says, Z, my name in English is Charlie Brown. So what's Charlie Brown in what was that, Norwegian? Although interesting,
I don't know what
one
it'd be for Charles, but it'd be Brun.
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 McBenman 1 says the word for church in Norway is actually Kirk. Kirk. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Main Train Esports says evening, Jenny and Zoe, and all in the chit chat. A big hello to you. It's great to see you too. And Jenny B. Kirk. Oh yeah, of course, Kirche. Kirche is German for church too. There's also like Kirk in French, Église is church, but they have Dunkirk.
Yeah. You know why? They used to be English.
Oh yeah, there is that. But what's interesting actually is in Welsh, the Welsh for church is the same as the French, Église. It's probably pronounced slightly different, but it's always interesting. Anyway, Logan Clary says, suddenly my trains have stared to levitate must be the Latin.
Yes, you've got to wonder about if modern horror films have anything to go by, then Latin speakers must have just been summoning demons left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
just by going to the shops.
J. Paul Anderson says Carl Brun. Wamgok says, thought Kirk came from Star Trek. No. Us Kirks, we've been around making a mess of things for quite some time. I mean, because in Scotland, the Church of Scotland is referred to as the Scottish Kirk. Right. Where was I up to? Michael Pollitt says, hi Jenny, introducing my teenage grandson to your channel. Oh, excellent. Showing him the delights of railway modelling. And there are many, many delights. It's one of the things that I always say about it, is it's a hobby that has many, many transferable skills in life. And when you think about it, it's got the planning aspect. Planning is very important across all aspects of life. But not just that, it teaches you woodworking skills, which are really, really useful, especially if you come to own your own house. Having a little bit of woodworking and DIY skills is really, really useful. Trust me, I own a house. Also, understanding electrics as well, that is a very useful skill. But also the creative aspect too is very, very good for exercising mentally and feeling nicely fulfilled, but also for planning the aesthetics of a great many things in life. I'm running out of ideas now.
Well, just to change the question, Sir Patrick Furlong, hello. Asks Jenny, How many times have you violated the Prime Directive, Captain Kirk?
Never, because I've never met aliens.
That
Well,
you know of.
I think I've probably met a few illegal aliens, but
What I have to ask, though, is the follow-up question to this. How long was it after you started school that you got really, really annoyed with the Star Trek jokes?
funnily enough, I don't remember getting them at infant and junior school. Probably because most children of that age didn't really know what Star Trek was. And if the teachers had tried it, it would have been like, what? Come again? But when I got to secondary school, I had a history teacher who I didn't get on with, who thought it was great fun to call me Captain Kirk. And it's like, oh, ho, 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 never heard that before. Just asshole. Didn't get on with him. And to be honest, I think he got bullied as a child. I mean, his first name was Casper. Yes, seriously. He was called Casper.
The friendly ghost. The friendliest ghost you know.
Just called Casper. But there we are. Right, anyway, Mike Reed, Jenny, Ken Patterson mentioned you again on an up-and-coming railroad meet. Are you coming to the States?
Hopefully.
Really, really wanting to. Looking to come to the train show in St. Louis. And the problem is that at the moment, the US president issued an executive order quite some time ago now. So it may even have been Donald Trump who issued it, but it's not been repealed. And what it means is that people from a whole load of countries, but primarily for me, the United Kingdom, unless you either have joint citizenship, so if you have joint UK and US citizenship, which I do not, you're still able to get in. And also if you have residency, then you are able to get in. I do not have that either. So I cannot get the visa waiver to allow me to travel to the US. What would actually happen is, I probably wouldn't even be allowed on the plane in the UK, but if they did allow me on the plane, I would get to somewhere like actually the LaGuardia or LAX. I don't know the names of men. I don't know the names of Chicago O'Hara. Is it O'Hara?
O'Hare and LaGuardia, not LaGuardia.
Oh,
Yeah, where are you going? Laboratoire Garnier?
oh yes, because I'm worth it. But unfortunately, what the upside of that is that at the moment, I am not able to travel to the US. Hopefully, that will change by the end of July, but time is getting very, very short. And that does, of course, mean that last minute is not good for traveling great distances, mostly because it puts the prices through the roof. And it also makes getting relevant paperwork very, very difficult, because one thing I've noticed about government departments the world over is they like to take their time on everything. So as it stands, I really, really do want to get over to the train show at St. Louis, but it's currently out of my hands, but we're kind of on standby. Mike Reed says, wow, so many politics, Jenny. They were really talking about you coming. Yes, they were there going, well, how do we stop Jenny Kirk from visiting the US? Oh, I know.
Close the borders, she's not allowed in.
Yeah. Rachel Houston says, the TARDIS is by the signal by the wall. Signal by the wall. Oh, have you? Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Well, you've been waxing lyrical. I've been changing the cameras around.
Ah, right. Let's have a look. Warbler Productions asks Zoe, with a question of Trick, can you guys do a Doctor Who special? I'd love to take part in the show. And actually, I think you would be very knowledgeable.
Yes, we have a Doctor Who special coming up. It's not the next summer special.
Do you have guests?
It's the one after. We haven't planned on guests, but I will talk to the team tonight if that's what you'd like to be part of.
Yeah, we can certainly.
I will send a message now.
Yes, we will pull strings and twist knobs and pull levers, and before we know it, things will happen. Janie B says, "What's
kiss babies and kick ass?" Or as you normally do, kiss ass and kick babies.
Yeah, it's like, yes, that didn't end well, did it? Mike Reed says, "Thanks, Jenny. Love you and the show." Patrick Furlong says, I'm told that due to my health, I'll never be able to get a visa for the US in normal times. And I've checked. Oh, that's a shame. Mike Reed says, "Don't forget to let Ken know." I am keeping both Ken Patterson and also Robert Steers as well, who is also aiming to get me over there. I am keeping them in the loop, but it's just simply a case of wait and see at the moment, I'm afraid. But you know, we can plan, and certainly even if it becomes later in the year, I think it would be really great to get over to the States. Even if I do miss the train show at St. Louis, I'm sure that there will be other opportunities later in the year. Patrick Furlong says, "I've got tremendous Doctor Who knowledge, Cupboard Monkey." J. Paul Anderson says, "Just go through Mexico. They'll let." Yes, I know. Yes, and it's like
They're gonna. The thing about the wall that they were going to build is that people are on ladders.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, oh, all these people are just climbing over using their lovely ladders.
But there's also this thing that they've got. It's a very technical term. Most people haven't heard of it. I believe it's called a tunnel.
Also, I thought the other thing is there's gaps.
Yeah, there's gaps.
Like, oh, I just walk along this wall. Oh, there's a gap. I'll go through here. Right. Let's have a look. Chris Usher says, "How's the job going?" Very, very well, thank you. Really enjoying it, actually. And it's a great opportunity that I've had being able to talk to a lot of you guys. I've actually been really humbled by how many people ring up and go, "Oh, is that Jenny Kirk? Oh, I watch the Monday Club." And so many people, not just from the UK, but we get people calling in from, I had somebody from Thailand, people from Australia, people from America. And it is humbling how many people actually know me. But I get this, it's starting to get this quite a lot. I can see how it would be really weird if you're on TV a lot. Because I got recognised that we did the Volvo meetup over the weekend. There was a Guinness World Record attempt on Sunday. We took the old Volvo, the Beast. But yeah, I got recognised there as well. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase says, "In all serious, I do hope you get to do the train show, Jenny." Me too, absolutely.
You've been looking forward to going for so long.
I have
really
actually, yeah. And it's built up to the point where I'm going to be really disappointed if I'm not able to travel. So we've got Main Train Eastport, AUK Learning. Hi to you, Davil. A big hello. Let's have a look. Who else have we got? Any more newcomers? But don't forget to tickle the like button. It's really important. Doesn't cost a penny. But tickling the like button does help the channel because it makes my ego swell. And every time my ego swells, somebody clicks the vote down button because, well, I'm living rent-free in some heads. But yeah, and also don't forget to share the stream to social media as well. It's a really great way to help build the channel. And let's get more and more people involved. Now, what's in the news? Well, Cavalex have announced a new version of their Class 56. I can't remember which exact member of the class, but I saw that they're doing the one which had accident damage, so it has two slightly different cabs. And that is something that's very, very different, so it's unusual to actually model that. Now, a big thank you to Robert Steers, who's very, very kindly donated $9.99 on the Super Chat. That is incredibly generous of you. And as I was saying before, Robert Steers is one of the people who's trying to get me over to the States for the train show. Really, we do want to go, and the problem is the travel at the moment is just impossible. But we are keeping an eye on that, and as soon as that changes, that I have got my passport, it's all applied for, it's nice and shiny, and it's got the obligatory rubbish photo that makes me look like I've been...
Like you should be holding up a number.
Yeah, holding up a number and have some kind of height thing behind me, and maybe a telephone number saying, "Crime Stoppers, ring this number if you see this person."
Main Train Eastport, I have your email.
Excellent. Patrick Furlong says, "Like button already tickled." Leslie Gilpin says, "I think the first exhibition I'll get to is Carnforth in August." Well, of course, yeah, there are some exhibitions starting up. The first one I think that I'm going to get to, other than the train show really holding out for that in St. Louis, will probably be Worley at the NEC, and I think that's November. Now, I'm hoping that November is a pretty safe bet. we do have some great vaccination figures in the UK, and I have had my second dose, which means that every time I yawn, I make the Windows 95 startup sound, and I am a 5G hotspot, so do tune your phone in now. The password is, hey, what's going on? Certainly I'll be at Worley. But anyway, other news, we've also seen, I think it's the Cavalex KBA barrier tankers. The weathering on those look really great. Rails of Sheffield did share a picture of those. We've also had a stock take by a Curascale, who've mysteriously found some of their iron ore tipplers, the Bogey VTJ tipplers, which, knowing having done stock takes, I know how easy it is to find stuff. I thought we sold all this. What's this doing? Who put this here? So those are available again briefly. I don't think there's huge numbers on those, but certainly if you missed out on the iron ore tipplers, then, and they're a really great set. We did do a review on it. Yes, I'd love another drink. So there. Oh no, just give me soft drink. Okay. Wamgok says mine will be the Engage show in September. Mike Pringle says
Warbler Productions, you're in. Got you on the Doctor Who show.
Oh god, that was
4 weeks time.
Okay, well there you are. You are on Question of Trek.
I'll send you the details.
Excellent. I've actually guested on that as well. I have no knowledge, and I still.
Still be mighty.
Yeah, but you're just rubbish.
I am. I should actually watch Star Trek.
Yes, you should. Right. Robert Steer says that is the Cocoa Beach Railroad prototype modelers meet. A nice break from the Montana winters. Okay, yeah, because Montana is one of those states that does get some quite harsh winters. And the other one I know of that has some very, very cold winters, North Dakota. I do know from reading Jack Reacher books that North Dakota does actually get quite cold. Alex Dent says, last year I was supposed to go to Scunthorpe Model Railway Show 2020, but it's been cancelled due to coronavirus. Yeah, an awful lot of places have been, unfortunately.
Guys, I really apologise for the coronavirus. I announced that I wanted to start doing stand-up at open mic nights, and all of a sudden the entire world's economy closed down to stop me. I do apologise.
Gary Lewis, no, I don't watch Sam Trains' channel. He inexplicably blocked me on Facebook, so not really interested. But the J27, I will be doing a full and honest review of that. At some point, I have been promised to be sent a review sample at some point from Oxford Rail. Really looking forward to it, actually. It looks really good. I think at the moment, the LNER version is the only version of the J27 currently on sale. But really am looking forward to, I think it's a BR version that I'm on the list to be sent. But certainly you will have seen as well the review that I did on the 12-ton tank wagon in the Shell and BP livery. Now, we reviewed the Fison's livery and really scored that well. I was quite impressed with that. And it's sometimes the case that some of these new, which would have been in real life, quite mundane wagons, are actually some quite stellar models in model form ready to run. And I felt it was important to get the word out there about the Oxford Rail 12-ton tanker. I did the review of the Fison's tanker, which I did by myself. They did actually then subsequently send me the Shell BP silver one, and it's up to the same kind of great standard. Right. Wamgok says, Sam who? Sam's Trains, he just banned me, blocked me on Facebook, just out of the blue. So, yeah, whatever. George Botterini says, Zoe, loved your latest blog. Please do more. It is Zoe's plan to do a lot more of the vlog videos. We did film an awful lot on Sunday at the Volvo Guinness World Record attempt. You can imagine that was actually quite an epic event, taking part in a Guinness World Record. Now, those of you who grew up in the UK through the 1980s will remember a programme on children's television called Record Breakers with, do you remember, with Roy Castle and Cheryl Baker. And to actually be at an event where you are trying to be part of breaking a world record is something special. So if you do actually get an opportunity to do that, whatever the world record is, do go along and do that, because it's actually really, really great fun. I don't know yet whether we got the record, but certainly had a great time doing it. Madden Steam Railway says, a young mate of mine at the Hoddesdon Model and Railway Club has a very interesting little 060 tender locomotive called a J11. I know that there's some great models out there, it has to be said, that people make either from kits or scratch building. It's also the case that I think some people get quite peeved that you put all that effort into building a kit loco and then the manufacturers bring out the same thing. So I know that the J11 has appeared from Bachmann, and really nice locomotive. I do have one. Mike Reed says, Jenny, does DCC Concepts have a crossing grade flasher for crossing grade signals? No, we don't, but we do sell a product that allows you to interlock one to your tracks and turn such a thing on and off with the train. And it's called a REX, Relay Extension Board. And I've actually just been working on a video on that for them as part of my work. It's not been released yet, but one of the subsequent videos on it will be about interlocking crossing grades, grade crossing the flashing lights and the barriers to the trains. And the idea being that on a single track it's actually quite easy, but on double track, how do you stop the crossing from resetting and then closing, but then when a second train comes? And the idea is that it's interlocked with two tracks so that the last train to clear it triggers the end of the cycle, not the first train leaving the section. So it'll make sense when the video eventually gets out there. But we don't actually do the crossing system itself. Now, I've seen a couple of people, let's have a look. So we've just had, through the paypal.me link, thank you very much, Mark Wilson has very, very generously donated £10 through the paypal.me link, and it says, hi Jenny, I hope you are enjoying my Swindon build. Absolutely, and that's something to go and take a look at on the Facebook group. The Swindon, the interior of the shed is absolutely stunning modelling, I have to say. So I think I'm a month away from completion before I move on to another challenge, maybe Birmingham New Street. To be honest, whatever you do, if it's done to even half the quality of what I've seen online, it is absolutely stunning, blown me away, and from certain angles that it really doesn't look like a model, it looks like the real thing. Really, really impressed with that. But thank you ever so much, Mark Wilson, for very generously giving £10 on the paypal.me link. Finley Carden says, when you come up into the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. When you come into the loft today, you will never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was is gathered there, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Madden Steam Railway says, I think it might be a Bachmann model from about 2012. I think I've missed the first part of that. Russell Benton says, how do folks? Sorry late today. It's Scotcho up here in Scotland for once. My word. I've known the sun in Scotland. When it does come out, it is quite nice. But yeah, it's been humid here, very overcast, and we have actually had a bit of rain as well, but it's getting quite warm and humid again. Mike Reed says, yes, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, is that the yeah, so it's a product called Rex. Now there is an info sheet somewhere hidden away on the DCC Concepts website, but essentially there's a way of doing it with that product interlocking with the trains. Ben Davis asks, hi Jennifer Kirk, will you be going to the Great Electric Train Show in Marshall Arena, Milton Keynes on the Saturday the 9th of October 2021? I might be actually. That's an interesting point. That might actually be the first one I'm going to, because I'll be going to quite a few with work, and I must check actually if that's what I'm going to be going to. David J says, finally found out the reason for the delay of the O-Gauge Lionheart Daypole GWR BR45XX tanker due Easter this year. The old COVID has played havoc with planned release schedules. Yeah, this is something. And now I work in the industry, it is quite an eye-opener. So I can, from experience firsthand, I know the kind of delays that get introduced. So, for example, the DCC Concepts O-Gauge Rolling Road did a review on this channel. They had an initial tranche of stock. It was like maybe 100 of them, something like that. And the rest of the delivery was expected. But what's happened is, because they have to go to a different factory for the gold plating, that factory is in an area of China which has been locked down. Nothing goes in or out, and that includes products as well as people. Now, sat in that factory are the gold-plated rollers waiting to be shipped to the packaging plant to be put in the boxes, put on a container and shipped to the UK. That can't happen because of the COVID lockdown in that region of China. And it's delays like that which are afflicting all manufacturers. So, it's the reason that we've seen the J27 that we talked about from Oxford Rail being delayed for so long. We've also seen a lot of the Hornby itinerary get pushed back. We've seen Bachmann items get pushed back. We've also seen the Acura scale release schedule with items such as the Deltics, the Class 37s, all being pushed back because of a whole host of delays caused by COVID. We also have to remember that it's actually really hard to get a shipping container. Not only have they gone up massively, like tenfold in price in some instances, but physically getting a shipping container in China to load your product on and then getting a slot to ship it over here is proving really difficult, to the point where I happen to know that DCC Concepts, the factory in China, actually had to locate a shipping container to ship the product, and they found it 27 miles away. They then had to arrange to get that trailer trucked to the factory. They then couldn't get a slot on a ship because they were fully booked up, and they had to ship that container upriver to another port that was like 4 ports away from where the factory was. So that took time to ship it there just to get it passage on the ship. And these are problems that are affecting all manufacturers, not just in model railways, but things like furniture manufacturers, electronics manufacturers, people making toys, making anything out in China, mobile phones. All this stuff is getting delayed because of that. But it's interesting though, there are upsides, and Warbler Production says the pushbacks help people save more money, so not all bad. Although on the downside, it is looking like a lot of different items are all coming through at the same time. So we've seen the D classes from Rails and Daypole coming through the same time as the J27s. We're also seeing a lot of product coming through from Bachmann. So anybody who's been waiting for all of these, plus we've had a whole host of new products from Hornby, they're all landing at the same time. So swings and roundabouts. Leslie Gilpin, the cost of container transport must be really influencing whether to bother until later in the year, when containers are supposed to come cheap again. Now, there is a rumour that some companies have booked all of the container slots up to and including Christmas this year, in order to make sure that they have enough capacity for their Christmas product lines. Now, if that is true, then that means we're going to be seeing this backlog continue into next year for definite. And yes, there are other ways of getting freight from China. The cost of actually shipping containers has gone up so much that for some products, it is actually now cheaper to air freight them. Yeah, imagine that. Putting them on a plane and getting them a couple of days later is actually a cheaper option than putting them in a shipping container and letting them sail the high seas for 4 to 6 weeks. But that, for high value, low volume items, things like DCC decoders come in by air because it just makes sense. But then on top of that, you also have to remember that we do have a microchip shortage. Thanks to the idiots who decided that we needed an Internet of Things, so, that your toilet roll holder has a microchip in it, your fridge, your toaster, your microwave. Why do these things need to be able to be on the internet? The problem with that is that actually the security in some of these is very, very woeful. So they're actually being hacked into and turned into giant botnets by hackers. And you as the owner would never really know that that's going on. But, you take 10,000 toasters and you suddenly got yourself a supercomputer. David Cook asks, Jenny, any news on the Acura Scale Deltic? Well, all I can say is soon. Michael T, hi to you. Davil says the shipping companies amongst those making a fortune out of the lockdowns across the globe. I suspect you're right in that, because it's probably still costing pretty much the same to sail a container ship from China to Rotterdam or Felixstowe. The difference is that each container is making, whereas a couple of years ago they were costing maybe £3,000 to £4,000, they're now costing 14, 15, even £18,000 to ship the same. And you can imagine that knock-on costs to the contents of those containers. It does mean that bulky, lower value products, it is no longer economical to ship them from China. So what that actually means is that you will see a strangulation of supply of certain items because it's simply not economically viable to ship them because they can't make any money out of them. Flymo Chairman 1 says all those empty planes. It's actually the case that some airlines have been converting passenger planes throughout the COVID period into freight carrying planes simply because there is quite a large market for that at the same time that the passenger numbers have been falling off a cliff.
Look, there's only so many planes I can get on.
Yes. So apparently Mr. Andy is in. Who is Mr. Andy? It's gone off the top. Jonathan Mann, hi to you. Belmont Junction, really big hello to you. Egg Rider as well. Says it's almost certain this certainly does help that there's still a huge number of containers stuck in the Suez Canal and the impounded Ever Given. And I believe that Daypol was hit by this. They have a lot of product in a container on that ship. And actually, I think there's going to be some serious repercussions from this because effectively the Egyptian government is probably illegally holding the contents of those containers hostage. And actually, they were never owned by the shipping company. So I think there's going to be some serious legal ramifications from this. But hey, Manthony 1956 says you would think that GB would have an excess of manufacturing capacity, making it viable to bring things in country, but I suppose that you now have a lack of skilled labour for manufacturing. I think the problem is that even though the costs have risen with manufacturing in China, it's still far cheaper than doing it in the UK. When you imagine what it costs to employ UK workers, then all of a sudden, Chinese workers are making a fraction of what UK workers would earn. So the cold hard truth is that for a lot of things, it is just not viable for them to be made in the UK.
If you want stuff to come back from China, you have to pay Chinese workers what you would pay British workers.
Yeah, and the problem is that if you made one of these high quality, high fidelity locomotives in the UK with UK labour, then don't be surprised when your locomotive costs £600 or £700 instead of the £150 to £200 that it currently costs. It's as simple as that. People look back at the days of Hornbeat manufacturing in Margate with some degree of fondness, but I'll be honest with you, the models were garbage. They were toys, not models. They were absolute simplistic garbage compared with what we've got now. It's as simple as that. And unfortunately, moving the production to China allowed for these super detailed models being made at a price that's affordable. You know, it's the cold hard truth, and it's why manufacturing is more likely to move to the next country to be exploited along the line. And you know, I'm old enough to remember when places like Taiwan was where all your cheap stuff got made. And in fact, going before that, Japan used to be the cheap place that people got stuff made in the 60s and 70s. So, you know, that is just simply how the world turns. And
it's the joke in Back to the Future when Marty first goes back to the 50s.
Yeah.
And Doc Brown says, no wonder it doesn't work, it's made in Japan.
And Marty says, hey, some of the best stuff's made in Japan.
Yeah, it's a joke about how standards have changed.
Yeah, and absolutely, definitely. And a lot of production's been moved to places like India, Bangladesh. But I think, you know, the southern part of Africa as well could be a new location for production. It's not coming back to the UK anytime soon. In fact, I'd be quite worried.
It's not coming home. It's not coming home.
If production came of that sort of thing came to the UK, I'd be worried that actually it meant that we were lagging behind a lot of places in the world.
Yeah.
Tim's Trains, Modellings and Adventures. Big hello to you. Oswestry Road, TMD. Hello, hello. Richard Stone says that's interesting. Suez Canal affecting my train timetable.
Yeah.
It's certainly beached a number of Daypol models for now. They did say actually what was being delayed, but I don't have a list to hand. Gordon McIlroy says, who remembers Made in Birmingham and Sheffield? Yeah, I remember Sheffield Cutlery used to be a big deal.
Yeah, Sheffield
and
Steel.
Also it used to be Chad Valley Toys. I remember them when I was young as well. Right. Z Fantasy Train says, I wonder how much 3D printing is going to affect all of that.
Probably not as much as we'd like until the next generation.
I think it's the point where you can 3D print stuff to the standard of what a finished model looks like. If you can just print that working locomotive in materials that work.
The day that instead of buying a new locomotive, you buy a pattern and it prints out overnight, that's when things change.
Just like a Star Trek replicator.
Yes, but I'll tell you now, that's another generation away. Your grandkids will be enjoying that.
Yeah, or your great grandkids. But O'Neill, really great to see you in. I hope you are well. Says, howdy all, enjoying this subject matter. Absolutely, it's an interesting topic, and it's one which I know we talked with Simon Kohler. When I interviewed Simon Kohler, did talk about this, and it's the cold hard truth is it is just too expensive to manufacture high tech, high quality products at a price that people are prepared to pay. And you imagine people are
R&D here, but we don't manufacture.
Very much. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. We have basically become far too skilled, and that skill costs money. We do the design work. Flymo Chairman once says it would be nice to get things with made in Great Britain again. I mean, there are some things that are moving production back to the UK, but they are ones which are not labour intensive. So things like the Humbrol paints, I think, moved back to producing in the UK.
Yeah, just as the EU changed the rules on what you can have in paints.
Yeah, but we're not in the EU anymore.
No, but we haven't changed the rules back yet. I did write to my MP and he said he'll take it up, but
David Finley said the only thing that's disappointed me so far is it goes not getting my hands on the Sutton Highland 24s. Do we know where they've been delayed? They're not on the Ever Given as well, are they? So I know that Bachmann have announced that they're redoing the Skinhead 24s. We've got the Headcode box ones, which I did do a review on. Is really, really good. Now, Warbler Productions says TARDIS is now on the Bogey flat wagons behind the 24-1. Oh, it's me. Oh, not anymore.
It never was. I pretended to put it down.
Oh, well, aren't you great? J. Paul Anderson says Roco is produced in the Ukraine. Europe is doable.
Oh, can I just say one thing? The Ukraine is Russian for the borderlands.
Yeah,
it's country's Ukraine.
Yeah, just call it. I know it sounds weird to your ears, but Ukraine is the country, not the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eastern Europe is doable. Train-o-matics made in Romania. But there's a reason why people from Eastern Europe emigrated to places like the UK and to Germany to earn a living there, was because the wages are so much better.
And I'll tell you what's going to happen. Because so many left certain countries in Eastern Europe, the population went down, and so did the workforce.
Yeah.
So
wages
are
went
go back up.
They already have done. A lot of people went back because wages did go back up.
Yeah, and I can't blame them. I would do exactly the same thing.
Melchester Model Railway says, aren't Oxford Rail made in the UK? No, they're not. Their headquarters are based in Swansea, actually just down the road from where my grandparents used to live. But that's really just research, R&D and distribution, as far as I'm aware. They have a factory in Hong Kong, which is where the products are actually made.
It's their own factory, isn't it?
It is.
They control every aspect of it, and that's one of the reasons they're cheaper.
It's one of the reasons that Oxford Rail are able to keep costs down, is because the factory is owned by them. It's an Oxford Rail factory. It's also where they make the Oxford die-cast. And effectively, they cut out the middleman, and they're able to pass on that cost benefits. Right. And yeah, absolutely. Says J. Paul Anderson says, it suggests it's a territory rather than a nation,
exactly.
Which is why Ukrainians get a bit annoyed by that. East Eel says, big up Swansea. Yeah, what's up, Swansea posse? We're going down Morris Sterning, Utstra Gunlice upon to Dowie. And I've run out of place names in the area. But of course...
Mumbles?
Oh, the Mumbles Tramway, represent.
How come I know more about people?
Down with the Swansea posse. Mark Wilson says, I've heard that the shipping container issue is down to an imbalance of imports versus exports. Yes, essentially, all of the empty containers are over here, but they need them in China. But nobody's willing to ship like a shipload of containers back to China, which does beg the question. When the container ships go the other way, what are they carrying? And I believe a lot of the times, in order to cut down on port layover time, they're going back empty, which is actually making a rod for everybody's back. What they actually need to do is to coordinate loading up some of these ships to the gunnels with empty containers to send back. Right. Dongit's Model Railway says, what's that suspiciously square blue thing by the signal box? Is it a TARDIS? It is, actually. There is a TARDIS over there. Well spotted.
Now I've got that, is it a monster? Is it a monster? Song going in my head.
No, it's like, what's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster? Is it a monster? Who is that actually by?
I don't know.
CSX Rensville says, are we on a loop? I don't think so. 1701 the filed flyer, big hello
it is
to you.
Technically a big loop, yes.
Yeah. Robert Steers says, we are air freighting our ready to run models from Hong Kong directly to our shop in Denver, Colorado. And unfortunately, it's something that DCC Concepts are having to do a lot of as well, is getting products in via air freight. Not because we want them quicker, although that is a fringe benefit, but simply because we cannot get the container space. And it's one of the reasons that heavier items keep going out of stock from time to time. It's simply because it's just not economical for low price, high weight items to air freight them. It just doesn't work out. You know, do you really want to have to pay 400 quid for a roll of wire? No, you don't, and that's why that is waiting for a container.
Really special wire.
Special wire.
Special wire.
Special wire. No, I'm afraid not. Ruben Ashwell says, I wonder what that blue thing is. Oh, we've already spotted it. It is the TARDIS. So I'm going to change camera angles to hide the Doctor's modesty. Dominic Z says, Jenny, I have the entire Kenner Kickline collection. I wouldn't have expected anything less. You are, of course, our
correspondent
Kickline,
from Kickline, yes.
Kickline correspondent. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people do collect a lot of things. I really have no understanding of Kickline. I'm not even quite. I think is it like Hot Wheels or something?
Oh no! I tried looking it up, and all I could find was people drawing fan art on DeviantArt.
Oh, fair enough. Matterville says Monster by the Automatic. Ooh.
The Automatic.
Flymo Chairman 1 says I really like the wheel sets that DCC Concepts are doing. Absolutely available in.
You were
Yeah.
really
Oh wait.
taken with
Yeah,
the
it's
way.
down there in the underground fiddle yard. The front closest to you.
Oh, I'm not touching that.
Oh, okay. But actually,
You know what will happen. All of that will break.
yeah,
and then you'll
it'll come
cry.
out like a string of sausages in your hands. But yeah, we're doing wheel sets in 00 and also in EM as well. There's a great boon for EM modelers, all three of them. But we're doing them in 3 different diameters as well. So good for wagons, but also good for doing coaches as well. So do measure your wheels first. But certainly, say for example, you've got some older plastic wheeled Bachmann or Hornby wagons, or even like Airfix. You can re-wheel them very, very easily as well. David J says, seems Tower Models in Blackpool is a mine of useful info, Jen, regarding the delays with delivery to upcoming models from all manufacturers. Check their website. I don't work for them, by the way. Oh, it's interesting, actually. It's always worthwhile getting an inside track on all these things. I do know a few things. I do talk extensively with a few of the manufacturers, but they sound like they've really got an ear to, I nearly said a nose to the ground, but an ear to the ground. Right.
An ear to your nose. What?
We've got
Tim's
some
model railway
yeah,
in
with dad
different videos
jokes.
says, how do locomotives hear? Through the engineers.
So you've got some railway-related lollipops there to read the jokes off the stick. So I'm just going to top up with Coke, and whilst I do that, just a quick reminder as well.
hokey
Other
cokey
news. We are, we don't have them here yet. I know a lot of people were asking, will you be showing them on the Monday Club? Yes, I will when I get them. But the actual sample that's come through from the factory, presumably air freighted, of the Jenny Monday Club wagon and its box has been photographed. We've shared the photographs with you on the Facebook group. If you're not on the Facebook group, go and check it out.
If you're not on the Facebook group, get on the Facebook group.
Yeah, it's a great way of finding out the news firsthand and also sharing pictures and videos of your own model railways and YouTube channels. Great way to get noticed. But that is now being posted out to us. So hopefully maybe even this week we will have the sample, and I'm really looking forward to that. They are still available. We do have a link somewhere to Rail to Sheffield, who are handling the order fulfillment. There are still some
Can
available.
I just point out that the somewhere, it's written on the screen.
Is it?
The link is under the picture of the model in the top left of the screen.
Can you actually click on it?
No, of course you can't.
Well, that's useless, isn't it? Patrick Webb really actually liked that pun.
a funny
James
pun.
Petts. I approve of James Petts, who has come and joined the chat. Simon, the Railway Enthusiast 83, says, I missed Jenny last week, and I missed you as well. Tim's Model Railways in different videos. Why is the railroad angry? Because people are always crossing it. Is it me, or is it getting quite warm up here?
Oh, turn the fan round.
Oh, look at that! It's melting the ice so quick. That is actually quite startling. But yeah, we come and sweat and suffer up here, so you don't have to.
Speaking of suffering, are you taking next week off?
Suffering, suckadash. Actually, yes. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. Right, next week I will be having a break. Now, since for about 18 months we have never missed a Monday. The Monday Club has been here, come rain or shine. And even when I was really ill, we may have cut it short, but we did still turn up. So next week, I'm taking a week off just to recuperate. And also because it's the summer, so audience numbers are down anyway. But we are going to have a special video next Monday. So, Cupboard Monkey, can you tell the lucky punters what they could have won?
Oh, next week is a premiere of a Jenny on the Road special. It's one of the Jenny Cam crossed with a Vol vlog because Jenny went to the.
Oh, I thought we were doing the Steen Garrett.
Oh. In that case, you may have seen some photos of it today because it's a Jenny on the Road special, Jenny Cam, where she went to try and steamed a traction engine with her dad.
Yes, not a lot of people know that, but for the last 22 years, I have been on the side an engine driver for my father. Him and I take his collection of steam traction engines. He's had 3 over the years, to rallies, on road trips, all sorts of good, jolly good fun stuff. So I'm a very seasoned steam locomotive driver, which not a lot of people know that. But we did film a whole lot of stuff with my. We're actually setting the valve timing on a Garrett steam tractor, and it's quite an interesting setup. Those of you who aren't familiar with steam engines, well, I might actually find it quite interesting how you set the valve timing. And you have to do it whilst the engine is in steam. And the reason for that is because everything expands when it gets really hot, which it does. There's a fire in it and boiling water.
What? Is that how it works?
So if you time it for when it's cold, it's out of sync when it gets hot, because it actually, I think we measured it, it grows by something like 1/4 of an inch. So
that does seem
basically the cylinder block moves 1/4 of an inch away from the crankshaft, and so you have to make an allowance for this. And you do it by getting it in steam, shutting the regulator, then giving it full forward gear, taking the plate off the valve chest, which would normally stop the steam from coming out, but because you've shut the regulator, it shouldn't actually dribble steam out, which it doesn't. And then set the valve timing by loosening the eccentrics and then slowly turning it over and relocating the eccentrics to the right place. Now, it'll make sense in the video. But we're going to be doing that as a premiere, so that I can take next Monday off. It's just I thought that after 18 months, I really did deserve a break. But we're going to be doing it as a premiere, so we'll still have the chat available, and I probably will be in the chat.
Probably, definitely you'll be in the chat.
Kelly Ashford says, I won't need Monday Club after 21st of July. My Llangollen train rides are due to make a comeback. Oh, I'm sorry. But you can do Monday Club as well as that.
Shall we talk about what we were spitballing as an option for Monday Club on the road?
What?
Remember the idea that we'd try to get some backing from a historical steam place to do a Monday Club that was just streamed live from a carriage and just going around doing interviews with people.
Oh yes, we thought about that. We want to take the Monday Club on the road. I think it's a great thing to do. The difficulty is that doing it on a Monday is not the greatest day for doing that, but we are looking to do some stuff. So watch this space. Alex Dent says, that's going to be interesting. Can't wait to see it. I know we need to sort that out. It might be best to do it for next year, maybe. But
it wouldn't be this year.
Fred McAvoy says, thank you, Warbler Productions. I love that, although I have to get it because I'm. I
think that's part of a conversation. Then.
Right, no, and Skip Sees Trains. Great to see you. J94, Sue at Pudham Junction. We've got a lot of great names in there. It's great to see everybody. Kelly Asher says, sorry, it's either Monday Club or Train Rides. I can't do both. But don't forget that the Monday Club becomes an ordinary video. You can watch it on catch up. And also a lot of people do. We have about 2,000 people will watch it live. And usually around a further 2,000 people watch it on catch up. So what we need to do is to grow those figures. And the best way of doing that is if you haven't already done so, do tickle the like button. And also share us out across multiple social media platforms. It's a great way of letting people know about the Monday Club. And of course, we've got merchandise down below. Don't forget to check out the hoodies, the t-shirts, the die-cut stickers. We've
you
also
might not want a hoodie right now, but later on in the year you'll find it very useful.
Great for Christmas.
Now, we've got an interesting point here. 9th Gauge says you could do a Monday Club from other people's layouts. That is part of a plan for Jenny on tour.
I would love to do something with New Junction. Love to do something with Ollie at Wardle Road. I know we've worked with Ollie before lockdown, and actually now that lockdown's starting to ease, I really do need to get Ollie back up here. But I know that he's been sucked into the world of 5-inch gauge live steam, and you can't blame him for that. But do check out Wardle Road over on YouTube and Facebook, because he's got some great content.
I tell you what, we'll lure him back because I'll build a 5-inch gauge. But what it'll actually be is just a cardboard cutout, and behind it will be a bear trap, and then he'll have to do the Monday Club.
Well, a lump of coal on a string. Come on, come get the shiny.
Come get it. Come get it.
Come get your candy. Yeah. Fly Mode Chairman 1, thank you ever so much. Says want to go buy the mugs, go here.
Thank you.
We've also got the t-shirts, the die-cut stickers, the hoodies. Don't forget the books still available. Great set of books.
Hello to Zach Farnworth. How you doing?
Hello, Zach. Great to see you. Let's have a look. Apparently Kickline is a product that isn't even available in the UK.
It's not. That's why.
Which is why we need Dominic Z as our Kickline correspondent to keep us in the loop and in the know.
Yes.
Patrick Webb says, have to go to a meeting. I'll rejoin if you're still going. We're going to try.
All meetings should be cancelled due to Monday Club. I have stated it. It must be true.
Oh.
I don't know why I have that authority, but there we are.
Right. Cottesmore, great to see you as well. Again, another person we've had here on the Monday Club. We should do something, hook up, do many things. And I know that Cottesmore as well has got bitten by the 5-inch gauge bug.
Everyone's gone 5-inch.
Yeah, it's where all the cool kids are hanging out.
Is that why we're not there?
Au contraire, my father is currently toying that Steam Garrett traction engine that you saw a few teasers of. He's actually considering selling it. So if you have plenty of money and you want a live Steam Garrett traction engine that you can sit on and physically drive around, and I believe it's road legal as well, it has a number plate and everything.
To be fair, you can sit on a Garrett of any size,
but
this one will still work.
It's also technically brand new, so one careful owner never raced or rallied, and that is actually quite true because it's never been to a rally. But it is potentially for sale for anybody with deep pockets, and my father is quite tempted to go down the 5-inch gauge locomotive route now, and it's getting on a little bit. So the Garrett's actually quite heavy. It's about the weight of an old style Mini Cooper car. So it does require quite a lot of manpower to shift it around. You actually need a van to move it. So it's reaching a point where he's feeling that actually he'd like something a little bit more practical.
He'd like something he can move around without requiring a crane.
Yeah. Richard Stone says, well, I just got my Hornby Brighton Terrier running on my 4x4 foot table. Excellent. Fred McAvoy says, is your Scotsman DC or DCC? I've actually got a DCC with sound version up there somewhere, which was donated by a very generous Monday Club.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very, very much all the people who did actually donate locomotives. We've been sent the 9F, the Class 47, the Flying Scotsman, a Bachmann C class, and there is another one, and I'm trying to think which one it was. Oh yes, the J36 as well, in North British livery, and incredibly grateful to all you. Also Warbler Productions as well, through Super Chat, actually donated the money to buy the Garrett, and it's incredibly humbled by that. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, traction engine for sale? Potentially yes, brand new, just been built, been setting the timing today to get it to work nice and smooth. But for the right generous offer, my father is considering selling it. Now, be advised, it is a bit of a handful in terms of you will need something like a van to move it around. Yeah. Mataville says, make a larger traction engine to move the smaller one.
Actually, that's a good point. Why don't we just build more and more of them?
Well,
we can have like
build a 6-inch one.
We could have like a Matryoshka doll going on.
Kieran L says, are just what I need to watch while working out in the field. Muck spreading. Ooh, spreading poo over the grass.
It's a necessary thing to do. Belmont
Junction says, yes, have a Flying Scotsman test. Flymer Chairman says, I understand Kelly, other folks might not be able to... Oh, right. I come in halfway through that.
Yeah.
Big hello to Roger Woolstonholme as well. It's great to see a lot of familiar names coming in. Kelly Ashford says, only 2 steamies running. Shame on you, Jenny. I expected you to run more than that. You know I hate diesels with a vengeance.
Hey, I'm with her and she still won't run a Gronk.
Let me change the camera angle and... Oh, look!
Gronk it up.
No, shut up. Steam.
Got some steamy weenies.
Steam.
They're not running, no, are they?
Steam.
They're not running, no, are they?
And actually, if we were to move me, then there's 4 more as well. So plenty of steam.
What's that move
oh,
you?
Hey! Oh, God,
Thank you,
that
Pat.
hurt. Oh, look, I'm getting motion sickness. I didn't know you could do that.
That's because I don't tell you, so that you don't mess up my stuff.
Valleys 56XX is with you on that. It says hashtag Gronk it up.
Yeah.
And of course, don't forget that in the merchandise we do have a Gronk it up t-shirt and or hoodie and or die cut sticker, so you too can Gronk it up. Dominic Z says, Jenny, my favourite Kenner kickline figure is the Talking Trish and the Light Up Candy. And my second favourite figure is the Space Ellison. Oh, wow, excellent. Codismore says, I mean, it did say running. Kettles and the signings are just steel boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, behave yourself. That's big talk for a man who's just bought a Class 66 in 5-inch cage. SL Eel says, how many 33s were made narrower than normal? The Slim Jims. Which were incidentally going to be Class 34, but for some reason they didn't become Class 34. I don't know how many, but I'm sure that somebody in the chat will know. Richard Stone says, I'm from South Wales. I know these places. Oh, yes. Morriston, Ystrygynlais, Pontardawy, Glanreed, Kefencoed, Colbren. There's a lot of places that I know quite well in South Wales because it's where my family, or one half of my family, were from. So growing up, I used to spend a lot of time playing on the Kefencoed J94, the Hunslet Austerity, that was plinth outside there. Even when I was a small child, that was plinth there. And I can remember the railway line that used to go beyond Ontwyn coal concentration depot. It used to continue around to I think it was an open cast site, and one of my really early railway memories was of what would have been probably either a Class 3 or a Class 4 sauntering light loco around the line where it used to go adjacent to the road that cuts through there, and I can just remember being fascinated by that. I just remember it was a blue diesel shunter with a cab, lower bonnet, and it had the side rods, and this would have been in about 1981, 1982. So it wasn't a steam locomotive. I can also remember walking the track bed that used to go up to Craiganoss, and up until the late 1970s there was track up to Craiganoss, but it was lifted, and I can remember walking that line probably not that long, probably a couple of years after it was lifted, because I remember the indentations from the sleepers and actually a lot of the rail fittings and keys just strewn about in the ballast. Mark Wilson says, I had a trip this weekend on a Slim Jim 33201 at the Battlefield line. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, evening till... Oh, sorry, I thought it said evening ladies, but evening Leslie. 12. Apparently there was 12 Slim Jims. So 70 to 1 the File Flyer and Gary Lewis. said it's 12. S. Eel says, I'm Bridgend here. Oh, where the Ford engine factory used to be. Leslie Gilpin says, big train set being built on site of Onthwyn Washery. I'd heard rumours they were going to do that. Have they actually started construction? Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, let her know about my stream. Your stream?
Oh, he's been going on about it for a while. He's streaming on Monday.
Oh, right. Were you doing that before or after I said that?
Before.
Oh, naughty.
At 7.
At 7. That's a bit.
Hey.
Just bear in mind, we'll be premiering our Monday Club replacement video on.
Yeah.
So just be warned. Kieran L says, I had a trip from London to Leeds on class 225 miles. 225 missed then.
43.
David Scott says, my grandparents lived in Glanreed, Ustragunlice. Ooh, gosh. Heel Myrick was the road that my grandparents lived on, just in the village, so literally walking distance from Glanreed. And my grandfather used to work in the Smith's Instruments factory in Glanreed. So I know the area incredibly well. And certainly if you're in that area, I'm just trying to remember, what was the name of that really lovely pub stroke restaurant stroke hotel that we stayed at?
Oh,
with all the whiskies behind the bar. Abercravin.
Yes. And they had the special meal, the Gut Buster.
Oh, yes. Actually, the Abercravin was really, really nice. But also, the Inniskedwin Arms, too, was actually quite a nice place to stay. So, yeah, there we are. Inniskedwin. That's another location. And if you see it written down, Inniskedwin and Ustragunlice.
They do not sound like they're written.
To English people, you take one look at them and go, well, I don't have enough phlegm to pronounce that. Valleys 56XX says, my mum was born in the uplands. 57305 Northern Princess, I so want a model of 01001 and 01002, the two from Hollywood Breakwater. And I think the Class 01 is probably now about the only BR locomotive that we haven't seen announced ready to run. You want to say something?
Would you like to start the videos?
Oh, we have a bumper crop, don't we?
We have 19 at the moment.
So, we are going to start the videos because we missed them last week, didn't we?
Yes.
So we lagged behind a little bit, and I'm going to just try and cool off here.
Okay, we're going to start with one from Mark Bascom, who apparently sent it multiple times. This is the first time I've actually got it. So I don't know what's going on. I do apologise for that. And this is, if I can load it up, Main Train Eastport.
Excellent, right.
So I'm going to try and bring that up on screen, and I've just realised I'm using the wrong computer.
Yeah. Oh my word. Leslie Gilpin said, where's it gone? Used to live in Morriston and Clydach in the early 80s. Let's have a look. Malcolm Phillips says, hi both from Mal here in Dinas Powys, not too far away from Bridgend.
Cool.
Kelly Ashford says, next year a YouTube friend of mine named Ryan Ball is going to take me on a preserved railway adventure. Oh, that would actually make a good trip, going around the country hopping from preserved line to preserved line.
Yes, I would be happy to take you on a preserved line trip. And if you were really, really lucky, I'll bring you back.
Yeah.
So here we are, Main Train Eastport with Model Railway 25 overview of Eastport.
Oh, I'm
really
like
pleased so far, he says.
Excellent, right? You make it full screen, and if you want to click play,
here we go. These houses are fully built this land. Wow. Oh, fair enough.
That is actually really excellent work. I do like the Sea Link ferry. That is actually really well done. And he's done all this himself. Yeah, despite not getting as many fingers as others, and it's really, really well done. I do like the water. The water effect is really well done.
It looks great, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and it's like that kind of that angry grey that you get under basically really,
No,
really
sound is on.
Oh,
Jenny, did you not turn the sound off?
may have been. No,
My goodness.
What do you mean me? Sorry. Billy's replacement speakers.
I do apologise. I thought that I turned it off.
Right, so I'm really loving this actually. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And you can see that actually, anybody interested, the DCC Concept Alpha Central units there for changing the points. Really, really love them. I've got one over there.
I'm just looking how choppy that water looks. Oh, in the back scene, look. It blends in.
Is the sound definitely off?
I've turned it off.
People are still saying, Billy's
I've turned it off.
replacement speakers.
But look at that, the way that the back scene blends in. He's got
It really
bushes
does
at the bottom and
work
things.
quite well. So I'm really impressed actually.
Is this N-gauge?
I thought it was 00.
I don't know. But it looks really cool.
Back scene works ever so well, and the ballasting as well is an area. I know a lot of people struggle with the ballasting, but that's really come together nice. And there's a huge port area as well, because we're seeing the hints of some of the ships in there. That really is impressive.
I'll put the link into the chat as well.
And of course, water and ships is really, really difficult to do. And even the scale is right.
Especially if you're hand building it. It doesn't take much of a slip of measurement to have it completely out of scale.
See, look at that
look
truck
at
there, the curtain sider. That is really well done.
A very topical diorama there.
Oh dear.
That is really well done.
I must admit, actually, a place I used to work a few years ago, they had a container of stuff come in. They opened the back doors, and all these migrants were peering out, and they said, "England?" And the guy on the loading bay, very, very quick thinking, just spoke back to them in perfect fluent French and went, no, basically said, no, this is the south of France. I think you've got off on the, and they were like, oh, and they just got back on the lorry and sat at the front and waited. So shut the door and see ya.
Oh my goodness. No.
Zach Farnworth says, my grandma was born in Glanreed. Well, yeah, it's my mother. Timothy Kynard says, looks good.
Look at the size of that ferry.
It really is great, and the water is really nice, and the angry water with the wakes and all sorts really does work well. There's a lot going on with this layout.
I am very, very impressed.
And that slight dereliction with the slightly overgrown concrete there works really well.
It's clearly a labour of love, and you can tell there's so much detail.
But
my
and the
goodness.
ballast, the colour of the ballast really does work. I like the station platforms as well. Oh, and the C-Link coaches. I think they were a Bachman Collectors Club special. Really, really nice. Dave Pippin, FBTV Entertainment, says, I'm going to Isle of Wight to find Lost Railways, Wroxham and Ventnor stations.
Nice.
Nice. Flymo Chairman one, thank you very much for sharing that. And it's also the Jenny Monday Club group on Facebook is a great place to also share your videos. So that other people know about your YouTube channel as well. It's one of the big things that we push on the Jenny Monday Club is that we're not the kind of YouTuber who pulls the ladder up after them. We're very big on promoting other people and their channels and the content that they do.
Because let's face it, the YouTube algorithm is not going to do it.
Yeah.
So we're all in this together.
Is that narrow gauge there as well? I can just see some narrow gauge track.
Look at that background though.
And
focus to get the
actually that
background,
if you look
the little
at it,
house is smaller.
Yeah, but if you look at that, it looks.
Is that Bubba Gump shrimp?
Oh, that is good.
Oh, that is
I
good.
also like, if you look very close, the edge of the layout is edged like the piling on the docks.
Yes.
So essentially, the edge of the layout is the dock side, and that is actually a really great way of demarking the edge of the layout.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Those ships look really great as well.
That one at the front, it's a ferry.
What's that? Is that say H? What's that? Can't quite read it. Something from Portsmouth. Or P&O. But it's this, and the open space as well. A lot of people tend to cram layout. And I know I'm guilty of this, but I like the open space. It gives it a really great real world feel.
Yeah, the overgrownness, the fact that it's not just one height of grass. It's so real. This is amazing.
A lot of people loving this, and there's Naive Gage says, "Is the Eat Peas graffiti a tribute to Give Peas a Chance graffiti over the M25?"
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, does anybody know what the heck that was all about?
It's probably just a joke. Either that or the person who was vandalising couldn't spell.
S. Eel says, "Good excuse for some dock shunters too." That's actually a good point. That a Class 07 shunter would look very much at home on a layout like this. And you see there on the left the Alpha Central units. I'm going to big them up because I really do love them as well for changing the point.
Almost at the end of the video now, so I'm going to try and find the next one.
Lance 2021. Oh, sorry. Lance 2021 says, "Jenny, will you consider some of Bachmann's new Class 20s? I've purchased a pair of the Harry Needle Class 20s and they're proving very good." I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Class 20s, and I already have 5 of them, so I do actually have quite a lot. So, and they're not on my immediate radar, it must be said, but never say never. But thank you very much for that video. Really did enjoy seeing that, and that you achieved
brilliant
so much, given that you know what
you
you've
haven't
been
quite
struggling
got the advantages that some other people have.
Definitely. So incredibly well done. Really impressed to see that. Right, so we've got how to make a scale model tree. This comes from Charlie McGowan.
Yeah, we won't be showing all of it because this is again another one that will need to actually be watched.
But we will need to post the link into the description
box. I'm going to do
and
that
certainly,
right now.
Trees is an area where, yes, you can buy them ready-made. You can pay a lot of money and get some really quite good ready-made products. But actually, it's really great to be able to make your own as well. So this
that
is
actually from in your garden.
Oh, what is that? Does he say what plant?
I'm assuming he will, yes, because that looks like the standard stuff you'll find in
and
the
that
garden.
Wow, so that's essentially the same thing, but I'm colour me a shade of intrigue. Yeah. I'm really interested in this.
Like I say, guys, this is going to go into the links. So Charlie, I think you've got something that's really going to get Jenny interested here.
So what is that? Spray adhesive. Okay, I can see it's sticky because he's got bits of stuff stuck to it.
But so it's basically spray. This is the type of thing that we used to use for
like spray mount.
zines.
Yeah, spray mount.
So little bits.
Yeah. So if that's going just underneath the foliage.
Yeah.
On the underside of the foliage. Yeah. Leslie Gilpin says it's sedum, isn't it? It might be, yeah. I'm not up with the names of stuff. I'm guessing that something like 3M spray mount would do that kind of trick. I'm actually really interested how he's achieved these effects because this looks really good.
I thought this would be very interesting for you.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I've got one thing to read out. David Cook says, Jenny, could you please mention Barry Davis Model Railway? He's doing a charity giveaway to disabled modelers. We can donate to him unwanted model railway stuff, and he distributes them out to disabled modelers.
Certainly can do, and if you've got a link, then we will we'll happily put that up as well in the chat. But
yeah,
it's certainly
no problem at all.
a great cause. So this is actually a little bit similar to the technique that I've used using sea moss, but I'm actually quite liking this as a starting plant.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to have to come back and look at this.
Absolutely. Like I said, I've put the link into the chat.
Because I've used War World Scenics for the scatter.
I'm going to chop this on and see what. I'm assuming it's multiple layers.
And it's just built. Yeah. I'm really impressed. I'm actually quite intrigued how resilient these are. One of the problems that you sometimes get is that natural plant products can become fragile over time. And one great trick is to actually soak them in a mix of alcohol and glycerine. And the reason for that is the actual science behind it is that the alcohol removes the moisture from the plant and then the glycerine replaces it.
Yes.
So you don't get it going dry and crumbly. So I think you can buy glycerine from chemists. See, that is working really well. I'm actually really liking the spray mount.
Yeah.
And the starting
Look at how
plan.
quick that is.
That spray mount on that plant has worked actually a lot better than the sea moss trees. So this is definitely a video worth coming back to. And
there it is.
Yeah, there you are.
My goodness.
That was really
I could do that.
That was really quick and easy. And one little quick tip as well I will give is rather than just using a single colour, try mixing up 3 or 4 different colours and textures.
Yeah.
And just build it up. And remember, real trees tend to be slightly different colours underneath. So
I like how he's put some of the stuff down as well.
So I'm really loving this. This looks to be a really great technique that I am going to explore. So really, really, really impressed with that. So thank you very much, Charlie McGowan. I will come back and look at that. And certainly that is a technique well worth exploring in the future. So do take a look at that. Simon, the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, what is your Facebook group, Jenny? It's the Jenny Monday Club Facebook page. We have got a few links into the
Matt says, I always thought the alcohol was for the modeller. Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Melchester Model Railway says, they look like dried sedums. I'm going to have to look that up. Like, make a note, Cupboard Monkey, because we do have space in our garden. We could grow those. I think that looks to be a good idea. Although Leslie Gilpin does says, I once tried sedum, but if you're not careful, they will totally disintegrate. Americans swear by them, though. You got bloody thing disintegrated. But no, do try the technique, glycerine and alcohol, and that tends to give them the same kind of strength that they had when they were alive. So that's certainly a technique worth exploring. I do quite like the look of that.
So next up we have John N from NC with PRRT1 and UPES44AC. I'm assuming that's not some kind of code.
John N from NC, of course, is one of our Patreon backers, and of course, as a lovely segue here, you can of course join us on Patreon and support the channel, helping us to make the videos that you want to see. Hythe Kent says, hurrah! My Wainwright D-Class SCCR Green 440 number 488 arrived today. Absolutely excellent. They are selling incredibly well. It's a Pennsylvania loco. I do love some of this American stuff.
They have it's weird to me because I look at some of it and it's very familiar from when I played Railroad Tycoon. But the modern stuff, it just looks otherworldly to me and interesting.
I do like these. These are sort of like, I'm guessing 1930s. Really, really great. Robert Ciceri says, good afternoon, Jen, Zoe, and everybody. Good afternoon to you.
Wow, it's a long train as well.
And Ruben Ashell says, nice to see some American trains. I love the observation veranda at the back. And that Union Pacific behind there. I do like the yellow Union Pacific logo.
I have to admit, it's very eye-catching, quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere up here I've got my Alco PA A and B units. And so I will bring this down. This is a MTH model. So I'm just going to hold it up there. I hope it's on camera. I can't actually see on the screen.
I'd expect it is.
But these, I love this livery.
The size of his layout. He's got loads of space.
In fact, there's an Alco PA. I've just seen one. That's this locomotive.
You do like it. That's not quite the same livery, is it?
I'm not quite sure, but I've got my eye on an Alco FA A and B unit, which are the Bobo version. That's a Coco.
James Pett says, I remember Railroad Tycoon. It would be splendid to see a Game Hammer episode of Railroad Tycoon. In that case, James, I will put together a Railroad Tycoon one.
I do love those girder bridges as well. Those are really, really nice. I'm guessing they're a kit, but I'm just curious if anybody knows which kits they are, because they do look good. Leslie Gilpin says, my T1 is in N scale. James, I think you've read that one out. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase. I always find American model railway layouts awesome to look at. Yeah, and certainly it's one where I have to say, do go and take a look at Ken Patterson's What's Neat This Week for this month, the big video he's done is a full layout tour of his model layout in his basement.
Wow.
And it is amazing. Some of the views that he's got, especially with the auto racks, the only reason I knew that they were a model was because he said in the video that they were a model. And it's just such incredible modelling.
I have to admit, I do like the look of the American stuff to the point where I think I mentioned this on the Half-Assed Customs
That is an Alco
podcast.
PA.
I think I mentioned this on the Half-Assed Customs podcast when I was on. Now, one of my plans is to make a diorama of the Blues Brothers flat. There's a scene where you see, I think it's...
it's the Chicago L line.
Yeah, Elwood
Which
Blues,
is the...
sitting and looking out the window as the L line goes past.
And that's the one that runs above the streets?
Yes, which is why it's always eye-catching to me. I'm thinking, most people won't know what that is, but the ones that do will look at that and go, I like that. I like what you've done with that. That's my idea anyway.
This is really nice. It's great to see US outline stuff, and it's a good sized layout. And you see there's a lot going on.
Really
As
is.
this develops, this is going to be really, really good.
It's interesting. The size of the place. It's got a lot of space to play with.
It's also very interesting that a lot of the US modelers do tend to go in for using that solid foam, very light but very strong. And as Mark Wilson says, I love Ken Patterson's idea of swapping sections out. I love that as well. It was a great way of being able to change bits of your layout.
Yes.
Right. Simon, the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, just joined the Monday Club Facebook page. Welcome along. Don't forget to tell your friends as well. And really, really love to see people showing pictures and videos from their own layouts and also their YouTube videos as well. Kev McKay 85 says, I remember playing Railway Tycoon on the Amiga. That's where I used to play it as well.
I played it first on the PC. Yeah, I've never had an Amiga. I went
I've played both.
Computers to the PC.
I had it on an Amiga, and then many years later when I bought my PC, I bought a copy on PC, and it's not as good graphically.
It's not. It really isn't. The PC at the time could not handle graphics.
Robert Cicero says, it looks like the Walther's Cornerstone kit or a Central Valley kit. And Manthony 1956 says, that PA is decorated for Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad. Aha. Campbell Rice, big hello to you. Right, hit play. So we've got the D213, that's a class 40, I think. So it's a class 40, if I'm remembering my names correctly. In fact, there it is, class 40.
My goodness, look at that. You even had a bird fly across. This is an amazing model.
Here's one of your crew, Retro Mickey 82. Big hello to you.
How are you doing? That is an amazing model. It looks so real. Look at the way the light is playing on it.
Oh, come on. That was funny the first time you did it, but not... I saw that locomotive at the East Lancs Railway a few years ago. I saw it just there,
on that screen.
Yeah, okay. It's really great, actually, and I've started to get a few shots of trains going by up at Settle Station with work, because it's actually quite conveniently located.
Yeah, on account of you being right next to
it. Should put them all together in one big video. I think that'll go down well.
Yeah. So we've got a few more still to come. But,
I thought you said we had 19, and I bet there's more coming.
Retro Mickey 82 suggests A-Train is another good set.
Yes,
get
my favourite, A-Train on the Amiga. The graphics were amazing. Did play it on the PC as well. Graphics not as good, but playability much better because the Amiga did tend to chug a bit. I love A-Train. It's my favourite train simulator. Technically, it's A-Train 3. But it was called A-Train everywhere outside of Japan because A-Train 1 and A-Train 2 were only available in Japan. Oh wow, double-headed steam on the main line. That is something you do not often see. Wow. Colour me a shade of impressed.
Richard Swiderski, you're very welcome. Thanks for sending it in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again.
And there's the
class 40 on the back. That's the class 40 we saw. Campbell Rice says, looking forward to meeting you at the St. Louis RPM. Definitely, yeah. And as I said at the beginning,
the Americans open up the borders.
we're waiting for. There was a presidential decree quite some time ago because of COVID, and it means that people from the is that supposed to be stationary? Are these just,
Yeah, it's a photo.
people from the UK cannot travel to the US unless they have citizenship or residency. I have neither of those. I do have a passport. I've got all that, but definitely, if anybody knows when. If anybody knows when they change that, do let me know, because I do need to get to the train show. James Petts asks, are you big in Japan? Well, yes, because Japanese people on average are shorter than me. But I saw that and it's like, thank you for the lead into the joke. James Petts also approves of double headers. I thought you would. Lance 2021 says, I was only up the road from Settle last month at Rathmel and Long Preston. Do you know any good spots around Settle Junction to spot, Jenny? Well, actually, you get some really good views from the footbridge at Settle Station. Hellifield is quite good as well, because they do a lot of watering and changing of locomotives there. So it's a good chance to actually just sort of watch the trains do their thing up close and personal.
Okay, what we've got coming up next is Iron Horse with Class 20 and 37 visiting Brightwood.
Okay, so
I know the name Brightwood. That's from Fable, isn't it?
And also interesting there in the foreground, a really great way of using up some of the wheel sets. If you put in those replacement metal wheel sets from DCC Concepts, keep the plastic ones, because that little pile of redundant wheels there is a great place to dump them as a scenic feature, painted with a rusty wash. And actually, you've got the rust colours perfect on there. It's something actually, rust. Do pay attention to rust. It does need to have that lovely matte finish that we're seeing there. Patrick Webb says, I hope I didn't miss too much. But don't worry, you can catch us all on the rewind as well.
Yeah.
But don't forget to tickle the like button if you haven't already done so. And also share the stream to social media if you can. That's a great help to the channel.
Retro Mickey 82 says, love Densha de Go, a great Japanese trains game. I would love to play Densha de Go, but unfortunately it's rather pricey to try and get a copy. So
don't you need a special like a special controller for it?
Yes, that's why it's pricey, because you have to import.
It's a
the
bit
whole
like
thing,
what's
massive,
it, Steel Battalion or something.
Oh, I would love Steel Battalion. I almost got a copy when it was first released, but they had very limited stocks.
Yes,
I didn't get there in time.
Yeah, I do like the weathering on this, and it's something actually I need to have a go at more weathering. I know I've done weathering, and you'll see they did a video on the channel.
Some of the weathering you've done is amazing, Jen.
Oh, the Acura scale and the Hornby hopper wagons.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really keen to try some of the DCC Concepts weathering powders, just because I look at them in the shop every day. I like those railings.
It's so well done.
The railings in the foreground.
Very nicely weathered as well.
But I'm assuming they're like a laser cut kit. Are they something like scale model scenery, something like those?
Don't know.
Richard Swiderski says those wheels look great, and the rest of the layout too. Absolutely.
Oops.
James Petts asks, Billy's replacement wheel sets? Definitely. And that video went down really well with the replacement wheel sets. Certainly it's something to look into if you've got older stuff with rubbishy wheels, and so it's a great way of improving it. And yes, James Petts, we did watch that Techmoan video. It was very interesting.
I knew about Densha to Go before Techmoan did it, but I'd never actually seen anyone play it. And when I saw it, I just fell in love. I was like, yes, I need a copy of that.
Yeah.
But I can't really justify £200 and odd plus the import tax.
Yeah, definitely. But if you know anybody going to Japan,
yeah, if anyone happens to be going there.
Iron Horse Railway says they're laser cut, yes, but not scale scenes.
Right.
Are they scale model scenery? Kelly Ashford says, James, you don't have to approve of something to like it. No, James does. The James seal of approval is like, the man from James Petts, he say yes.
Yes.
I always imagine James Petts wearing that sort of straw hat and having the white suit and just sort of looking very closely at wheel sets
And
or
then giving the
N-gauge
thumbs up.
things and going, Oh, the weather, that's actually a really good weathering job, and it just shows that how you can improve some of the older Hornby or Lima locomotives really just with a great weathering presentation. That does look really good, and I'm not a fan of the old Lima or Hornby Class 37s, but that's scrubbed up pretty well. Lance 2021 says, Jenny, what does DCC Concepts usually stock?
Not a lot after Jenny's been through.
Huge amount of stuff. Everything from working ground signals suitable for UK, US, but UK from two light, 3 light, 4 light ground signals. They do range of ballast. They do wheel back-to-back gauges, replacement wheel sets, LEDs, wire, control equipment, boosters, accessory decoders, DCC decoders for locos, stay alives, you name it, point motors. Gosh, the list is endless. Iron Horse Railway says, I do offer weathering as a service. Monday clubbers get discount. Woohoo! Excellent. Oh, I do approve of a discount. Aha, beat you to it, James Pets.
Yeah, tell them you came from the club.
Yes.
That
Definitely.
is so well done.
The weathering really makes these, and when you
The whole
consider
thing
that
just
that's,
looks real.
I'm assuming it's in like a Lima or a Hornby 37, but that's scrubbed up really, really well. Right, do you want some air over
Can
there?
I just borrow the bottle?
Just okay. You can have the bottle. I'll keep the fan. Oh, it's not quite as pleasant without the bottle. Veyron Steve, big hello to you. Naive Gauge as well. Says, I imagine that James Pets is the very same as the man from Del Monte as well. Oops. And there we are. And we've posted a link in the description box as well.
Thank you very much for that, Iron Horse.
Yeah. Have we got many people in? I haven't got access to the thing which tells us how many people are in. I'm just curious how we're doing. Thank you.
229 watching.
Excellent. Flymo Chairman 1, thank you very much for sharing that. And we've got the last 15 minutes. Do we have...
We're going to run out of time before we run out of videos.
James Pett says, I approve of oranges. Every day, I think I've met you actually, possibly at Ali Pali. I do meet lots and lots of people at these events. But I have a feeling that you may well have been immaculately dressed in a suit with a hat. Flymo Chairman 1, send video links only, absolutely, as a URL to Zoe at zoerobinson.com if you wish to have your video and YouTube channel featured on the Monday Club. James Pett says, actually, that man from Del Monte hat picture was taken on the top of Mount Snowdon in 2012 after having just travelled on the Snowdon Mountain Railway. Oh, so I have seen a picture of you in that hat. Oh my word. Right, Dave Pippin FB TV Entertainment says, I'm looking for it reads as refereeing powder for my track. What do you recommend, Rusty? I think it's weathering. DCC Concepts do have a range of colour coordinated, made in the UK as well. Some things do get made in the UK. Weathering powders, and they do include a track weathering and grime set. So, which video? What have we got here? So this is Carl and Debbie Trains with Cattington 18 Castle and Layout Update. James Pett says, you have indeed met me. The hat was just for the model you scanning that day. Melchester Model Row says, I spoke to Jenny once at Ali Pali before she was famous. Right, let's move over to the next video. And we've got some great stuff going on here. I've already seen it. I think it's the Duchess of Hamilton and the Streamline guys. Which is one, actually, my little nephew Henry desperately wants one of those locomotives. I think in the blue, but finding it hard to find one at a reasonable price.
Oh my
the
goodness,
chase cam.
Look at that.
Really, really effective filming. This is the Hornby... I forget which type of pannier it is. But
how could you forget? I thought
it's
you were
like
Jenny the train knower.
Class 2251, my brain is saying. I think we've seen this layout develop, and it's another thing that we always say. Really love seeing how layouts develop on the Monday Club. Again, another photographic back scene, really looks amazing. So so great to see. And these tracking shots work so well. It's a great idea if you want to see your layout in a new light, is to try and track them. And I love the way you've done that, framed with the trees, the church in the background. It really does work well.
It's so nice. I like that you've got this nice, neat, tended garden at the front, and then the rough bits around the layout afterward. That's just so well done because it's so real.
That is a great shot there.
And that path going up at the back.
I like I think the church is, am I right in thinking that's a super quick kit? Not one I've ever built myself, but it's actually turned out nice again.
This is so nice.
Yeah. I'm loving some of these buildings.
Going on. Oh, look at the quality of that.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Look at that path up to that castle. That is brilliant.
That's a really good angle and shot.
Yeah.
There's some real creativity gone into the filming work on this as well. And again, that photographic back scene really does look good. John PW22 says, gosh, you're still here. Nice pannier and buildings. Of course we're still here. We go till 9 o'clock UK time. Rachel Houston says, it looks great. Richard Swiderski as well. This is a great layout. And J. Paul Anderson, nice. Do you guys get tempted to say, with somebody...
Nice.
They say, nice. Like Smashy and Nicey. Oh dear. But yeah, Leslie Gilpin as well says, cool laser cut baseboards. So it's been really pleasant actually to see some of these layouts develop. And I think this is one that we've seen from fairly early on.
I believe so. I do recognise.
Oh, a 9F with
and
Pullmans.
the nice angles over the.
So that's taken from up on the castle mound.
Yeah.
That station's actually come together really, really well.
Yeah.
Some great use of I think they're Metcalf kits there. Certain footbridge, I think, is Metcalf as well. Oh gosh, Hornby 00 Royal Daylight Tanker Wagon. Nice. Oh, they're sort of on a little siding to themselves. Timothy Kelnard says, good video. Definitely, yeah, there's some really good camera work on this.
Yeah.
And it's really bringing this layout to life with a lot of the low angle shots. I do like that church. Flymo Chairman 1 asks, whose layout is it?
This is Caddington. I did put the link in. I'll do it again.
Okay, so we're just going to put the link in again for this video.
Oh, look at that station.
Yeah, with like the ivy and stuff on it.
That is so nice.
And then we've got the 9F. And the little village with the little manicured gardens.
And this smoke coming out of the chimney.
It's a really great effect.
Oh, that is so good.
With cotton wool.
I like it.
And look at the adventure playground as well. There's a lot of interesting little scenes in this.
This is lovely.
Iron Horse Railway says, nice. Nice. Like from the Fast Show. I think that's it, isn't it?
Nice.
Because Smashy and Nicey was the same people.
It.
Richard Swiduskas, was that the Triang Giraffe car? It may well have been, actually.
Oh, nice.
Daniel Kiersey, big hello to you. There we are. Yeah, I think it is. I think that actually is the Triang Giraffe car. There goes the streamlined Princess Coronation.
Kelly Ashford says, come on, Jenny, do the locomotion. You gotta swing your hips now.
Come on, baby, do. Oh, is that car number? Is that the Hornby 00 Pullman? No, it isn't. It might be the Wren one though. 6244. Is that Duchess of Hamilton? I'm not up with the numbers for the Duchesses. Iron Horse Railways also likes the classic cars parked up. J94, great to see you as well. Alan Bevan says excellent detail, so realistic.
They're really good.
And that back scene really does bring this together. So really, really nice.
This is just so well done. I'm loving it.
And it's the camera work that really is making this.
Yeah, the angles, the low shots really work. It's
some
something
great,
that I always try to do when we do the trains going by videos.
Some great framing, and I actually really like that one where it just looks like you're following, almost like with a drone.
Yeah.
We're going to have to try that with the action cam.
Yeah, why not?
I'm just wondering if we can rig something with it, sort of attached to a wagon, but looking over the locomotive.
Probably, yeah.
We'll have to see what we can do. It's giving me some great ideas here.
And that's another reason we do this, because it doesn't matter how long you've been modelling, you can always get some ideas from other people.
Simon Train's Model Rower Showcase says Duchess of Hamilton is 6229. So thank you ever so much for sharing that with us. Really thoroughly enjoyed that. Some really great angles. And Richard Swiderski says that's King George the Sixth. Ah, excellent.
Really? I thought it was a locomotive.
Right,
okay.
So
Charles Gibbs sent us a message saying, thank you for including some photos last week. Here's some more from the Wesley Tor Railway that you might like. So
certainly, I'm looking forward to these. So if you bring that up, can I change the screen?
You can.
So really nice with the vignette. Vignette. Go on, there's a terrier by the looks of it. I do like your little casks there, and there's sort of the lighting works really well. It makes the locomotive.
Lighting is helping a lot.
I'm assuming you might have very light weathering to make the locomotive, look slightly oily. And the coach has got that kind of real world dirty dusting. Not too much, but really, really, really great effect. So move to the next one.
Next slide, please.
Yes.
Oh,
the weathering on that really is nice. I don't. Is that that must be the Hornby one? I'm guessing, or is it kit built? But that is really nice weathering on that, representing a tired old carriage approaching the end of its life. But there's some really nice framing on this. Really nice framing.
Yeah.
So next slide, please.
I'm not quite finished here. That looks real. The
bushes work
really well.
With
the out of focus there, so you've got the pole to the front, makes it look real.
The bushes look a bit like the woodland scenics.
Very nice.
There's some great angles here. Matt Tommen says, hi all from Denver, Colorado,
Hello.
USA. That's Robert Steer's country, so I'm sure that you know American Limited Models and the San Juan Model Company. So it's really great to actually see so many people from around the world. James Pett says the weathering looks very real, and Kelly Ashford recognises a tiny terrier when I see one.
Now that is real to me.
I think that's a H class.
Look at the background.
But the weathering, but the weathering on the locomotive, it looks like a real working locomotive. As Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, detail is awesome.
What I'm looking at here, with the texture in the background, so it's not just a flat blue or anything like that. This looks to me like it's an old-time photograph.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Place.
Like Kodachrome, which was the sort of early, so like 50s, 60s, into the 70s colour film. Although Kelly Ashford does disagree, says, I don't like weathered carriages, should be kept clean. I'm generally with you on that, but that was a really great effect.
It depends how long the carriage has been sat there.
If it's in departmental or parcel use, then yeah, dirty's fine. But in terms of passenger trains, I'm with you on preferring clean carriages. But actually, that was a really great effect. Richard Swiderski says, super layout, super photos. And Simon Train's Model Rower Showcase says, I can imagine Boris saying, not finished yet, to Chris when he said, next slide, please.
Okay, can you jump back so that I can bring up
Yep, no problem. So
that's great. So thank
you so much for that. Really enjoyed seeing that. Oh, as the cupboard monkey hacks along.
I'm dying off. Right, I think we've got time for one more. We've had 4 others sent in today. Actually, some of these are photos, so we've got time.
What's that one at the bottom there?
That is another one from Richard Swiderski.
It says 14th of... Oh, I thought it said 14th of January.
No.
I thought we'd been sitting on that a while.
No, the biggest issue is that we've shown one from Richard tonight. If I show another one, I have to check one out from someone else.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking is I'll hold that one back for next week.
That's fair enough.
Well, the week after, because we're not here next week.
And also, just a reminder for everybody that next week, the Monday Club will be a special video premiere. This is so that I can have a week off, but we do have filmed a really special live Steam video, which we will be putting out as a premiere at the usual Monday Club time. So you can still tune in. There'll still be the chat for you to be able to chat during that video. And what we'll try and do is make it a reasonable length video.
I'll
so
make
that
it a feature length one.
Yeah, we'll try and get maybe an hour out of it.
Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do.
May add. What we could do is maybe add in the Volvlog video and actually have it as a feature length.
We'll see what happens.
Well, but we will see. But that's what's happening next week. The reason for that is so I can have a Monday off. I haven't had a Monday off in more than 18 months. But I'm going to now move over. So who have we got?
This is Philip Page with the Northern Bell at Horwich Parkway.
Oh, local. So there we are, Northern Bell, Horwich Parkway.
The 18th of June.
Not that long ago.
Mm.
I bet the people on the other platform with cameras were a bit annoyed because there's a train pulled in and got in the way. It's like, oh no! I bet you as it goes past, after it's gone, I bet you there's some guy swearing and fuming on the other platform with his camera.
No, it's there.
There he was. It's class 57, I think. I see this train go through Settle an awful lot. It's I got some footage of this, but with Princess Elizabeth hauling it.
It's a big one.
Well, it is. It is. It's like a dining train, I think. And I do like the livery on that 47 on the back.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
So, Richard Swiderski, always looking forward to next week. Iron Horse Rowers' live stream was always a bit intimidating for me. Oh, right, fair enough.
Not live Steam. Not
live live Steam. But
I'm sorry, but Iron Horse Railways prefer computer chips to core chips. I prefer chips with salt and vinegar.
Yes. But look, thank you very much for sending in that video. Really did enjoy that. So I think we've got time for one more, actually, looking at the time. So
yes, we might actually get through these.
Let's squeeze in one more, shall we?
Well, I was going to squeeze in another video and then the 2 sets of photos that we've also had sent.
Okay,
so
yeah.
This one's from Logan Clary.
This is his new Class 90, which is, again, a model I need to get.
Yes.
So J94 says, bye-bye, guys. Stay safe, all of you. Nice stream, Jenny.
They're all, everything's photos. Everything's photos now.
Right, so we'll be able to get through these. So, moving over, let's, next, so we got this slide. So this is the Class 90 looking down, and appears to be making good use of an actual overhead line. I can see the wiring into there.
Yeah.
So, next slide, please.
No, that is the only one.
Oh, is it?
Yes, if I jump back, I might be able to get another link.
Oh, we're showing everybody our emails.
So there you are. There, it's a slightly different angle.
It's actually making its own overhead catenary, which is a very interesting project in its own right. AFD Comp says, good night all, I must go now as it's my birthday tomorrow. Oh, we have a song about that. Happy birthday to you. Squash, tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you. Alex Dent says, I can't wait to see the next week's Monday Club special. It's basically a pre-record as done as a premiere, but certainly it's live Steam and it's me and my father working on my father's Steam engine. Kelly Asher says, I say Jenny needs a half year off from streaming. And it's one of those things that it's all through lockdown. I felt it was really, really important to keep it going. I know a lot of people have struggled being isolated from family and friends. And we wanted to be there every week as that little bit of normalcy. And I think we've done quite well with that. But next week, we're just having a week off.
Right, the next one I brought up, I was thinking, why are the images so small? But it's actually not. It's something that he sent in. It says, Toby Johnson says, hello, just giving a suggestion for a train I'd like to see run. I thought this was a set of submissions. Right, so that's why I haven't got back to you.
Class 33 by the look of it.
He's saying, would it be possible to run a Class 33 in BR Blue with some Mark II coaches?
I don't have. The only Class 33 I've got is actually going round in the green with yellow ends as 33008. I think is it Eastleigh. So I'm afraid that's the only Class 33 I've got. in terms of that livery in blue, do I have... I don't think I have anything in that livery. I'm just looking through, and the closest I can find is a class 26, but it's in engineer's grey. Aha, I recognise Statfold Barn.
Yes, I recognise this too. So our next one, if you want to bring it up.
So next slide, please.
This is Garthian, Warbler Productions now, saying, "Hi Jenny, hi Zoe. A few photos of Statfold's miniature traction engine event over the last 2 days. I was crossing Keeper on Saturday and back to guarding on Sunday. 2 guests for the Quarry Hunslet 150th year birthday celebration from the Festinio Railway have arrived. Leela and Britomart,
I think it is, which was actually worked one of the quarries above, on the lower end of the Welsh Highland Railway, I believe.
Right. So, he says he's going in on Wednesday to clean Lilla, but leaving Britomart as she's kept looking like a quarry engine all the time. Fair enough.
Leslie
sent
Gil
in some lovely photos.
And Leslie Gilpin is heading off. Says, right, I'm off. Thanks, Jenny and Zoe Nightle. And thank you ever so much for handling the moderation on with Flymo Chairman 1 and Ham Shackleton as well. We actually had a few of the moderators in, and it's always really grateful for the work that you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Because otherwise we'd have to kind of stop our flow.
So got some very nice.
I see the Garrett there on the right. But it's a great place to go, and it's one that actually we probably need to.
I like that this one's got a trunk on it.
I think that is Britomart, isn't it? Yeah. I think Statfold Barn Railway. So Garthian, the artist formerly known as Garthian, aka Warbler Productions. Maybe something we need to do is to sit down and sort out with Statfold Barn Railway about doing something like a Monday Club Live event. Well, is that the last one?
Yeah, that's the last one.
Oh, is it? So we probably need to hammer something out, but I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah.
Chad Martin says, Jenny coming to America for RPM in St. Louis. Really hoping to.
Yeah.
It's all down to currently the travel restrictions prevent me from doing that.
Yeah, the Americans have closed their borders because they heard that she was coming.
Essentially, yes. So I currently can't get into the US. I do have my passport. I'm waiting for the rules to change so I can get the visa waiver. As soon as that's done, I can then liaise with Ken Patterson and Robert Steers from American Limited Models and the San Juan Model Company. And they're the ones who are trying to bring me over to the States to do that show. Really do want to do that. It's just all down to the travel restrictions changing. That's what we're waiting on. Patrick Webb says, I'm sorry to hear that. So Simon, the Railway Enthusiast 83 says, yeah, I wish I found out about the Monday Club during lockdown as I struggled badly with my mental health issues. And we're really sorry to hear that. It's one of the things a lot of people did struggle. And it's why from the moment they announced lockdown, we said that we would be there, come rain or shine, every single Monday. And we have managed to do that all through lockdown.
Lockdown's been hard, I know. I have to admit, I struggled.
Yeah, we have both struggled. And I'm not afraid to talk about it, that we have also really struggled. It's been really difficult. Yeah. But we've got through that, and that's it. We're coming out the other side.
What I love about this community is that we all immediately went, right, this is going to be hard. We're going to come together and we're going to do stuff. So we had people doing live streams almost every day. Yeah,
because we had the live stream program, so everybody knew who was doing what and when. And also, we did the virtual model railway exhibition. So there's the community pulled together really well.
Yeah, and you should all be proud of that.
So, Warbler Productions says those pictures were all of the visitors for the Quarry Hunslet 150 event in 2 weeks' time. Going to be a good event.
It
Absolutely.
Does look good. They were very nice.
Matt Torrance says, sorry, my government but
to be honest with you, it doesn't matter what country you're from, you could say that.
But if people can let me know if you hear that the travel restrictions are lifted, let me know so we can get that sorted, because I really do want to come
Jenny needs to get
St. Louis. But look, it's bedtime now, and so it's time for bed, Zebedee, bedoing. It's been great having your company. Don't forget as well to like, share and subscribe. And you can check out our merchandise down below. We've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got die-cut stickers. You can also get the books. You can also order that Monday Club wagon from Rails of Sheffield. They're handling the ordering fulfillment, so you can order with complete confidence. That is due in the next month or two, and we're also expecting the first sample to be arriving here possibly in the next week or two. But until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying you take great care of yourself. And from me and the Cupboard Monkey, good mental health, happy modelling.
Stay safe. Good night.
Bye for now.
The train now departing from platform 1 is the 2109 service to Grove Street Yard, stopping at Bolton Trinity Road. Lots of other places. Eindhoven, over to Miniftatis, and then to Grove Street Yard. That's the 2109 service to Grove Street Yard. If you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Globe. Good night.